Welcome to my channel. Today, I'll show you how I made this tabletop using endgrain apple wood slices. This video truly lives up to the name of my series. In the beginning, I really had nothing more than a simple log, and it's hard to imagine that it would later become something unusual and truly special. That log came from a very old apple tree. Applewood is extremely hard and has a beautiful, warm color. Despite its good looks, applewood is exactly a go-to for most woodworkers. It's full of knots, tends to be small in size, and cracks easily when drying. So the chances of a cut apple tree ending up as firewood are much higher than anything else. Well, not in this case though. The step before processing the wood is drying it properly. Cut slices dry fairly quickly, but they're also more likely to crack than whole logs. I cut the blanks in late autumn and left them in a well-ventilated attic over the winter. Some of the material was finished in a microwave oven. It's not a great solution, but it's still better than working with under-dried wood. Once the workpieces are ready, that's where the creative magic begins. When fitting the slices together, it's important to balance aesthetics with practicality. Some decisions are guided by the wood itself, but you can't blindly follow it. Trying to save every knot or every swirl of the growth rings doesn't always lead to a strong or workable result. It's much easier to talk about balancing aesthetics and technology than it is to actually do it. The more elements you add to a structure, the harder it becomes to join them harmoniously. If you aim for a chaotic layout, the most efficient method is to place new slices on top of already finished ones, but then everything has to be trimmed, which isn't ideal. Another issue is radial cracking. A certain amount of it is fine, but when every single piece has a crack, the result stops looking harmonious, so those parts need to be cut away. What takes the most time are the small inserts between slices. There's always a risk that after finishing, they'll look like foreign elements because of differences in color or texture. All of this leads to a lot more waste wood. In my case, that wasn't too painful. This apple tree would have ended up in the barbecue anyway. As the structure gets closer to its final size, it becomes harder and harder to maintain proper geometry. Unfortunately, small errors tend to accumulate, and wood remains a living material. It keeps changing slightly both during and after cutting. As a result, no matter how carefully I make each joint, somewhere a wide gap still appears. What's more, trying to make very tight, precise joints actually reduces the degrees of freedom and contributes to this issue.